Today I'm here to share with you my Slipstravaganza progress and some fiber acquisitions. Hey everyone, I'm Marina and this is Pineapple Knits, a knitting, spinning, and weaving videocast. You can connect with me on social media at Pineapple Yarn, and you can connect with me on my website at pineappleyarn.com. Thank you so much for joining me again this week, and if this is your first time joining me, welcome. I'm so happy you're here. It is a gorgeous mid-October here in coastal South Carolina. I am really pushing my luck with this sweater though. I think it's supposed to be low 80s here, and so it's really the best time of the year because I can still go to the beach and I can get pumpkin spice lattes, and sometimes it gets cool enough where I can wear some wool. So I'm pretty sure I said that in my last podcast. It is the best though, best time of year. Though I do say summer's the best too, but maybe that's when I'm going into summer. So I don't know. I love it though, and it's really gorgeous weather, and so no complaints here. But this week I have been super busy with my Slipstravaganza, and that is a mystery knit along from Stephen West. He releases a mystery knit along every year. I think for the past at least 8 years. He has been doing it for a while. And so this mystery knit along this year has been so much fun. But his projects are long, at least for me. They're very long, a lot of knitting. And so for the next few weeks, this is all the knitting I'm going to be doing because it's all the time I have for. And so if you don't want the surprise to be spoiled, you can skip ahead to my acquisitions, which are later in the video. But if you don't mind seeing what I did, let's get started. So far, I have been super happy with this mystery knit along. I actually have really loved it. I have gone through 3 clues, but I think it's clue 1 and then a bonus clue and then clue 2, technically. I think that's what they're called. But here's what I have so far. I am all the way through clue 2. And it's starting to get a little long. So this doesn't look like much, but I think this was the current clue, and it is, I checked last night, I believe it's 462 stitches. So we're closing in on 500 stitches, and these rows are long. I'm not sure how this shawl will be worn. Right now it is a triangular shape, and this is where the shawl began. It was an I-cord cast on, and it's this gorgeous honeycomb with the stripes. I used a kit that I dyed. It's from Pineapple Yarn. It's the Slipstravaganza kit in the autumn colorway, and I do have a couple more in the summer colorway in the shop right now that I am just absolutely in love with, but the colors in this have turned out to be really great as well. And so as you can see, clue 1 was all of these really neat honeycombs with the pearl texture and then the stockinette stripes, and then you have these great holes. I don't know if you can see that, but all of these stitches were picked up, so it kind of translates into holes. And then we went right into the bonus clue, which is this slipped stitch pattern. I really enjoyed this. This was really, I really liked this bonus clue section. Just as far as like pure knitting. So this is clue 2. You can see this gorgeous slip stitch pattern. That is really pretty. I might as well give you a close-up of clue 1 as well. So you can really see the texture in that. Oh, I loved Clue 1, all the honeycomb. And you can see all of those holes. That's so cool. I love that. And then we went into Clue 3 or Clue 2. I think it was titled Diamonds. And I'll show you why. As you can see, all of the main color, which is this caramel brown in my shawl, was purled in these sections to form diamonds. So that is it's just a really beautiful texture. So far it's been a really interesting knit, and I'm going to hold it up. And this is a 60-inch. Is this 60? No, this has to be a 40-inch needle. This isn't 60. But I am kind of at the limit of this needle right now. I did use the needle recommended in the pattern, which I should say the cable length. I used a needle size down. So right now I'm using a US 3, which is a 3.25 millimeter. Last week, I asked your opinion whether I should stay with the Xiaogu needle, and it was just not as slick as my Addies, or if I should switch to the Addies, which I did switch to the Addies. I thought life's too short to knit with needles you don't like, so especially when I had them. And so I did switch to the Addies, in case you were dying to know. But yeah, it has been smoother. I'm not gonna lie though, I did like the Xiaogu cables. Those were just so flexible and nice. Anyway, I guess you just can't have it all, but I do like the knitting with the Addies. They're just so smooth. And so, yeah, this is where I'm at so far and loving it. Today is Thursday, and so on Friday, the next Clue 3, I guess, will be released. And so, yeah, that'll be really fun. I'm excited to get started. I was nervous I wasn't going to finish this portion, and this was not difficult at all. I would say, all in all, so far this knit has not been difficult. It's just the length of time it takes to knit these rows. And so if you're knitting 460 plus stitches per row, it takes quite a while, especially because some of these rows are purling. So just a heads up there, I know some people really don't like to purl, and so thought you would know, but that's how it looks. I love it so far. I think it's turning out to be a very interesting knit. And another thing I was not quite sure about as well, just as if I was going to have the brain space to do a Stephen West shawl. Some of his shawls have been very technical, and I don't want to say difficult. They definitely think outside of the box. They work outside of the box, and so he always has videos which are very helpful. And I think too, if you know where the design's going, it's a little bit easier to follow along and figure out what you need to do. But so far, this has been very manageable. And if you have not joined the Mystery Knit Along, I would recommend it. I think it is manageable. It is so much fun. I mean, at the end of the day, it's just a very fun knit. So there's that. And I should show you before I finish. This is all that I have left of the first skein of my main color. And so for the Slipstravaganza, you need 5 skeins of yarn. You need 2 of the main color and then 3 contrasting colors. And so I do have I didn't weigh it, but it's maybe about 20 grams left of that skein. I do know some people have ran out by the end of this clue. I still have that much, so that's that. And before I go any further, I forgot to mention what I'm wearing today, even though I briefly touched on it at the very beginning of the episode. This is my Beekeeper cardigan, and it is a pattern from Marie Green of Olive Knits, and I knit this as a 4-day knit along, which is so crazy to knit a sweater in 4 days. And I do think it may have taken me a little bit longer. This was maybe 2 years ago. I'm not exactly sure. But she has a wonderful selection of patterns, and I love the sweater so much. I love the texture. I love how it fits. I actually put buttons and buttonholes on mine just as a preference. But yeah, I love the color. This is just a wonderful autumnal sweater. I knit this out of pineapple yarn, my yarn, in the honeycomb colorway, which is this beautiful golden color. It's a DK weight, and so it's just, yeah, just a really wonderful sweater. And like I said at the very beginning of the episode, pushing it because it is 80 degrees plus right now. But I did want to share with you some of the acquisitions that I have. I think it was my last podcast or the podcast before, I mentioned that I had completely eliminated an episode because I had one of my fiber clubs sitting out for everyone to see the entire episode, and there was no way I could edit it out. And so I want to share with you that fiber club as well as another one. The fiber clubs that I would like to share with you are my Hedgehog Fibres Fiber of the Month Club. And so if you have not received October or September, feel free to skip ahead. And I'm going to show you both of those. I just received my October the other day in the mail, but the September one I have not shown you yet. And they're both absolutely fabulous. So this is September's, which is this amazingly bright green with all of these patches of color. Gorgeous. I love it so much. It is 67% merino and 33% alpaca. And so as you can imagine, it is a wonderful balance of the woolly softness of merino, but then that kind of like downy fluffiness of alpaca, if that makes sense. But that's what it looks like out of the bag. I am loving this portion right here. There's so many really great colors, like this one. Love this one. I'm just gonna undo a bunch of it so you can see. Oh, there's some really good colors in here. You know what I love about the Hedgehog Fibres fiber is that when you unpack it, there's always a surprise. And so like a surprise pop of color. And so just like this purple, kind of like orangey, pinky purple. There's some beautiful greens in here. Just really gorgeous, gorgeous colors. So I'm sure it will come as no surprise that I'm super excited to spin this. It's going to be a gorgeous spin, especially with these contrasts. I think this would be an amazing 3-ply because I love to spin and really have the contrast of a barber pole. I love 3-plies when everything's just a really contrasty. I love that. And so I know that's not everyone's cup of tea, but it definitely is mine. I love the color pops. So this was September's Fiber of the Month Club. Now I'm going to move on to October's, and this is really gorgeous. Isn't that beautiful? That deep blue. Oh, I love this. So this is a 100% merino wool. Oh, look at that. So the neatest thing about this fiber is that, I mean, besides this gorgeous blue, it's really accentuated by the pieces of black that are running through the fiber. And so it just really accentuates the depth of color and just the moodiness. So like, oh my gosh, are you kidding? That's gorgeous. Those black stripes in there. So pretty. Like, I love that pop of orange, that like rusty orange right there. Oh, it's so pretty. And then this like deep, oh gosh, this beautiful like deep blue. So pretty. I am kind of obsessed with this. I really, really love this. And I usually like brights. I like a lot of color, but I do like kind of an interesting saturated blend of colors. I think this is really pretty. I think it's very interesting with the black in it. I think it'll be a really interesting spin. And so I don't know how I plan to spin this. Y'all, I have so many Fiber of the Month clubs. Like, I can't, it's a little embarrassing. I really need to start spinning them after Slipstravaganza. After that, yeah, kind of. Because after that, I am going to possibly start knitting on my advent calendar, but that's a whole nother topic. But anyway, yeah, this piece right here. Oh, I mean, that is, what? That's gorgeous. I don't even want to spin that part. I kind of just want to just take it and just leave it. It's so pretty. That looks like, it almost looks like a little, like when you have light coming from a prism. That's what it looks like right there. Okay, anyway, yes, I absolutely love this. It's gorgeous. I don't know how I will spin this, what it will become. If I spin it straight from the top, I feel like it'll be too blended. I will probably do, I don't know what I'll do. If you have any suggestions, let me know. Usually I just split it lengthwise into thinnish strips and spin it that way, especially if I want to do, you know, a 2-ply or something. But I really want to preserve some of these colors in here. So yeah, I don't know how I'm going to spin this, but I love it. I love the fiber. So again, Hedgehog Fibres does a great monthly club. And so I am really happy with this one. And as far as weaving goes, no plans, but I was just talking about the advent calendar, and I guess I'll just kind of go into a bit of shop news right now. I am playing with the idea, instead of knitting something with my pineapple yarn advent calendar this year, I've been thinking of weaving something, and I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to do, just because 24 20-gram minis, it's a lot of yarn, and yeah, I'm not really sure. I would love to hear what your ideas are, if you have an advent calendar, or if you have you know, a group of minis, a group of yarn that you plan on doing some advent knitting with. I would love to hear your ideas or pattern suggestions. I always include pattern suggestions with my advent calendar, and yeah, kind of playing with weaving this year. I would love to know what you think though. So that is what I've been working on this week. I've actually been working on packing the advent calendars, and it is a ton of work. This year has been a challenge. I mean, 2020 has been a challenge, right? But the advent calendars specifically have been challenging just because of the yarn shortage. And normally what I do is I really pace out my dyeing of the calendars, and so it's not a lot of work all at the very end. This year I didn't have the option because I was fortunate enough to get the yarn. And so all of my dyeing and the winding of the minis and the packing, like everything has kind of been rushed at the last minute. And so unfortunately this Friday I was supposed to have a shop update, and I won't, because I want to focus on the advent calendar and make sure that they get out in time. And so I'm sorry if you're waiting for a shop update this Friday, but there will not be one. And I think the next shop update will be in the next 2 weeks as well. If you subscribe to my newsletter, I will definitely let you know about a shop update there. I will also post it here on YouTube and also Instagram. So keep your eye out for that. But I do think I will have a shop update in the next 2 weeks. Fingers crossed. Hopefully I will. Hopefully it won't be delayed, but it's just kind of life right now. But yeah, it's actually been so much fun seeing the advent calendar coming together and all of my plans. I've been planning this since April. So actually since March, really. That's when I put the advent idea together. And so yeah, so exciting to see it come together. And I will really be excited when I mail them off to you and I have so much room in my studio left too. Once all these boxes and yarn are out on their way to you. Yeah, it's pretty crazy, but it's fun. It's fun work. So I'm really not complaining. I'm so happy that I have happy work, and I'm so grateful for all of your purchases, all of your orders. So thank you so much for those. I do still have clubs in the shop, the November pre-orders. So if you haven't ordered those, go check them out. They're so much fun. And other than that, that is about it. That's all I've been working on with yarn and with knitting and all of that. So I hope everything has been going so well with you where you are. I hope you're enjoying your autumn and you're having beautiful weather and a beautiful time knitting and crafting. And yeah, I hope to see you again next week. And until then, I hope you have an awesome day. Bye.